Coming up in our next half hour, we'll begin a three-part series celebrating the 25th anniversary of NBC's groundbreaking show, Saturday Night Live, a show that's produced many memorable characters like this one.
Oh, hello. I'm Matt Lauer. Yeah, that's it. Coming up, my interview with Katie Couric, The Nude Years. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Yeah, that's not the ticket. Anyway, SNL after these messages and your local news.
Here's Matt. Willard, thanks very much. This year, Saturday Night Live celebrates its 25th season on the air. In the early to mid-70s, NBC was looking for something different to put in the late-night slot, normally filled by Johnny Carson reruns. The program debuted October 11th, 1975. It was originally called NBC Saturday Night. And the rest, as they say, is history. This morning, the early years.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
From the moment Chevy Chase appeared on stage and uttered those 7 memorable words, American television was changed forever.
NBC Saturday Night!
The show's creator, Lorne had recruited an ensemble cast originally billed as the not ready for primetime players. The group included Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, Lorraine Newman, Gilda Radner, and Garrett Morris.
This group of people, John and Gilda and Jane and Lorraine, they were really very special people and much more so than most people realize.
The idea was to do a 90-minute comedy variety series performed in front of both a live and television audience.
Lorne Michaels came to me and said, I'm doing a show that's going to be a cross between Monty Python and 60 Minutes. And it's a summer replacement show for The Tonight Show. Are you interested?
Ladies and gentlemen,
there would be a guest host,
George Carlin!
a musical performance, a short film by Albert Brooks,
Who's your date? It's just someone I'm talking to here.
and a regular cast performing sketches and parodies based on current events.
I am Henry. I had nothing to do with Watergate.
We were going for humor, and we were going for energy, but no one really had an idea what the show was going to become. It started as one thing and evolved into something that was pretty different.
Mr. B.
Yes?
Congratulations, it's a drone.
It's a drone!
Lorne said we're on 11:30 to 1. The censorship is going to be relatively lax. We'll be able to do more the 10th show than we can the 1st, and more the 50th than we can with the 10th. We'll just stretch our own parameters. And he said if we fail, who's going to know?
Stuck in an obscure time slot, their prospect for success was dim. But what the job did offer was a chance to raise a few eyebrows. And that they did.
Here's how it works. Catch a bass, remove the hook, and drop the bass. That's the whole bass into the Super Bass-O-Matic 76.
It was shocking, outrageous, and at times, even tasteless humor.
Wow, that's terrific bass.
We knew that because of the time slot, we could go that step further. Whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. Some of it was very funny. And I've never turned down something in bad taste as long as it was really funny.
4 reservations for the Whitehead family. That's W-I-D-E-T-T-E. Whitehead. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
Their irreverent approach was fresh and hip, and the audience loved it. Before long, this talented group of rebels had a hit on their hands.
Hello, Olympia Restaurant.
Cheeseburger, 2 Pepsi, 1 cheese.
Cheeseburger.
As the ensemble cast began to find its way, popular characters started to emerge.
Can I have a sandwich, please?
Belushi's Samurai Warrior.
Oh, well, thank you, Jane. It's very lovely to be part of a news team.
Radner's Emily Latella.
Well, Abe, you were lucky. They shot you.
And Aykroyd's impersonation of former President Nixon all became favorites. But it was Chevy Chase who stood out from the crowd.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Babs' uvula.
Babs' uvula who?
I don't know, Babs, but I do know this.
Although several of Chase's characters became popular, it was really his work as the anchor of Weekend Update that separated him from the rest of the cast.
Good evening, I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not.
Chevy was the first breakout star. It opened everybody's eyes on that program because they realized that this wasn't just some counterculture thing where we put on these anti-establishment sketches. This was TV where people can become stars quickly.
In December of 1975, New York Magazine put him on the cover, calling him the next Johnny Carson.
New shimmers of floor wax and a dessert topping.
With Hollywood beckoning and a promising future ahead of him, Chase left SNL early on in the second season.
This is your graduation gift from me.
Really?
Chase was quickly replaced by Bill Murray, and SNL enjoyed what may have been its greatest successes in seasons 2 and 3.
Dear Roseanne Dana.
Gilda Radner's Roseanne Dana made her first appearance.
We are two wild and crazy guys.
Dan Aykroyd and guest host Steve Martin introduced the Wild and Crazy Guys. And adding to his growing repertoire of characters, Belushi, along with Aykroyd, caught fire with the Blues Brothers. That sketch led to a Blues Brothers album, which quickly soared to #1 on Billboard's top LPs. When Animal House became the runaway hit of the summer of 1978, Belushi found himself with the #1 movie, the #1 album, and the hottest show on TV, all at the same time. Belushi's fame was proof that Saturday Night Live could produce not just late-night stars, but actual movie stars.
One after the other, year after year, in that original group, they were about as hot could be, and the firestorm became very difficult to live with.
Before they knew it, the ensemble cast had gone from dreaming about celebrity to living it. But fame came with a cost.
You had the pressures of the show, the pressures of fame, some drug use, egos that, for some people, just got out of control. And when you put it all together, it made for a very, very difficult backstage situation.
The aliens jumped.
Belushi and Aykroyd were next to depart the show, leaving after the 4th season. Without them, it faltered. After the 5th season, Lorne Michaels and the rest of the cast realized that what they'd originally created no longer existed, and it was time to walk away.
5 years is a long time to work in the dark and to have crazy things happening around you all the time, the unpredictability of it.
Although the show would reinvent itself over the years with new cast members and sketches, it was clear an historic era in television had come to an end.
This was a program that had a tremendous influence on television, what you could see on television and what you could hear on television, right from the start.
Having been on the show has really been one of the greatest things of my life, and it has endeared all of us who've done the show to a generation of people. And what a wonderful thing that is to have in your life. It'll always get me change for $1 wherever I go. People are happy to give me change for $1 because I made them laugh, and that show made it possible.
Saturday Night Live will celebrate its 25th anniversary with a special primetime event this Sunday night at 9, 8 Central Time. Still to come this morning. Janice, thanks very much. Now more of our look back at 25 years of Saturday Night Live. There are several reasons why the program has stuck around to become one of television's longest-running shows. For starters, there's its cutting-edge satire, and of course, the platoons of funny people it's introduced, its popular catchphrases, and the small planet of characters it's created, from the Coneheads to Wayne and Garth. Today, some of the best-known names reflect on why it's worked.
Woody Allen once said about comedy that it's either easy or impossible. We would get so punchy. You know, you throw those tacks in the corkboard. You know, when you're trying to write, you throw pencils in the ceilings. We were throwing chairs at the corkboard.
Every week you have that opportunity to create a character that could catch on, or, you know, or write an amazing sketch. And if that week goes by and you don't come up with something, you kind of beat yourself up.
Just getting the show on the air was so hard that that was the main focus for everyone.
By the time we get out there on Saturday night, we have been through so many characters and so many changes and so much work.
You've rehearsed the scene maybe 4 times by the time it gets to air. And there's changes happening because it's live, you know, so you have to accommodate for, no one can predict how long someone's going to laugh or if they're going to laugh.
It's like jumping out of an airplane. And you've got this one shot to do it.
You don't know what they're going to have you do. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You're going to do sketches and it's going to go over or it's not going to go over. And there's a thrill to it.
It's like diving into a cold pond or something. You know, you just go, okay, here goes nothing, and just
It's not for the squeamish, I can tell you that, not for the faint of heart.
You just put yourself into the hands of everybody who does this show all the time, and they grab you, and they run you, and you do quick changes that are not possible.
This set's getting broken down. That one's getting moved over. There are people flying. There are makeup artists everywhere. Half of the cast is, you know, in semi-undress.
So they get you under the bleachers, they strip you down, they throw on this, put this on, put that on, and someone's doing stuff to your face, and someone's forcing rings on your fingers, and someone's got you in cowboy boots, and someone's tying a tie around you, and they're gluing this, and Joe Dixo, who's the greatest floor manager ever, is going, 30 seconds, need him, come on, I don't even have the wig on you. 15, gotta go, and you learn the value of a second, you know, in live TV. I gotta walk with him. 10, 9, put the thing and they glue it down. And I went, wait, what do I look like? I never saw myself, you know. And they put a mirror up like this, and I was Sammy.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yes! If you're going to do an impression, they will give you a tape, and you watch the tape, you know, so you can watch their mannerisms and get their voice down and the dialect and all that.
Yeah. I cut a deal with TWA. I do all the east-west flights.
You know, it beats seeing Joe versus the volcano.
Jay Leno is somebody I think everybody can do. So, yeah, it's just, you talk like that, and you go down low like that, you know, and they put a prosthetic chin on you, and you're Jay Leno.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're a hip Stone Age family.
That was the hardest voice to get, the Sinatra voice, because I realized my voice was as similar to his because we had that same North Jersey accent. And before I know it, I said, I can't get this voice. And then I started talking like myself a little bit, thinking about it a little bit, baby, and I got into a groovy, cuckoo thing, and I said, hey, this is the Frank voice right here.
You think I'm some minuscule manicotti midget, huh? Is that what I am?
I'm a huge fan of Pesci. So I'd instantly, did you see Pesci? Hey, what you doing? It just comes out, you know, like, hey, what you doing? Come over here. It's just, it's like imitating your friends.
Hey, excuse me.
It's almost inevitable that you're going to offend someone. If you don't offend somebody, you're really, in a way, not doing your job, if you're doing satire.
You don't really want to hurt somebody's feelings, but when somebody becomes public and they're in the public eye and everything, there's sort of fair game.
You're a dirty, dirty girl, and you had dirty, dirty sex with that dirty, dirty president.
No!
People might think, oh my God, that's so outrageous. And you're banking on the fact that it's no different in the world today in other areas where a month later it's forgotten.
Stop bear, stop bear, stop bears. Just in for my new book entitled, I Want to Be a Hoe.
The absurdness. He was just absurd. Just a guy, a pimp that wrote a book, you know, how to hoe book. That's just so absurd. It's funny, you know.
You know, the other day, I took one of them meat thermometers. Yeah. And I just shoved it into my ear, you know, as far as it could go.
I said, Chris, maybe we should do those guys. You know, we do them in the elevator. We would do them just to shock people in the elevator.
No, I hate when that happens.
You know, we'd get in the elevator, 30 Rock, go down for lunch or whatever, and Chris would go, ow. I said, what's the matter? Gee, I got this big sore. I said, where? He said, how'd you get that? Oh, I took one of them, I go, tweezer? Yeah. I just dug it in, just started moving around. Jeez, I hate when I do that. And we would just do it for, you know, business guys looking around at us who didn't know us and so on. And then so we decided to do them.
The recurring characters were kind of insurance. If you could stumble on a character that people enjoyed, and it was a pretty good chance if it went well that it would come back.
Oh, this is too much. Wheel of Fortune. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited, I must say.
Ed has this energy, and the energy played live, in a very live way. Sometimes you do characters and they're only can be truly realized when the audience looks at them on videotape or film. They'll look at the subtleties they'll accept and they'll enjoy. But if you did those same subtleties in a live performance, you just bomb.
The extraordinary, deafening roar of silence. I often break when I'm bombing because it's so ridiculously embarrassing.
There can be a huge silence across America if something doesn't work.
I can feel the butts twitching in the seats in a sketch that's dying.
There's no excuse for doing bad shows, but it happens.
It's a little humiliating when the show's not good, and you know it's not good, you know. And you try to fix it, and then people start writing about it, you know. Invariably, you get the headline, Saturday Night Dead, you know. It's like they can't come up with anything more clever than that. I was glad they weren't writers on the show.
People are looking to the show for things to imitate, you know, and if there's something good and funny, they'll do it. That's what they want.
Pop, you are.
Yeah, that's a ticket. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Well, isn't that special?
You get a chance through repetition at times to know these characters and get to know the way they speak. And like a friendship, you make a bond with them.
Party on, Wayne.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, you look marvelous.
I get You Look Marvelous, I still, to this day, 15 years later, someone will, and they'll think it's the first time I heard it. That's, hey, you know what? You look marvelous. Thank you.
Me, I get people going, hey, man! Man, it's, hey, yo, man! Let me hear you do that. And they'll follow me for like a block. Just give me a little one, man. Just a little, man.
It's kind of been this barometer that everyone, at some point in their lives, have checked in to watch and see, and everyone owns a little bit of the show. Anytime you heard somebody say Saturday Night Live, you felt like they were talking about your family.
It's like the Marine Corps, you know, it's being in the trenches.
What you do there, you can only get there.
The show is always, whether hits or misses, it's always interesting to watch, and it's always worth it.
How many shows have they done? 1,000? How many shows have there been where it's still somebody looking in the camera and saying, live from New York, it's Saturday night, and you still get that thing.
It is coming up on 7:42. Coming up next, what you should know about your cellular phone bill, right after these messages.
Live on the plaza coming up at 8:30. And now, back inside to Matt.
All right, Janice, thanks very much. Saturday Night Live is celebrating its 25th anniversary this coming weekend. No one has been more responsible for its success than Lorne Michaels, the show's creator and executive producer. Recently, I sat down with Michaels in Studio 8H, the home of Saturday Night Live for the last 25 years, to talk about some of the things that have made this show so unique, including the use of a guest host every week.
Now, when he was a young man, he never thought he'd see people stand in line.
The idea that there would be a different host every week was like some new problem to solve for the writers, in the sense that you're going to write a different show for Steve Martin than you're going to write for Elliot Gould or Buck Henry.
So is the main priority in choosing a guest host over these past 25 years promotability?
No.
Is it that this person's funny?
I think it's that they'll do a good show, or at least at worst it will be an interesting show. I think it has to be people you admire, and I think it has to be someone who, at least from a writing standpoint, there's some place to start.
Your musical guests have been the who's who. I mean, basically everybody.
Right.
What's the role of music been on this show?
I think it was, you know, absolutely essential. Music was, you know, if you're defining or trying to define what cool is, music is, you know,
top of the list.
Yeah, at the essence. We never really booked off the charts. I think we've always tried to maintain a standard where you go, this is good, or we think this is interesting, or these are artists.
In the victory.
Sinead O'Connor's on the show.
Yeah.
She tears up a picture of the Pope.
Yes.
Live television.
This happened, actually?
In a way, is an event like that, Lorne, the worst and best thing that can happen to a show like this?
Yeah, I think there have been lots of them, and we're live. And that's what, you know...
a dangerous element.
Yeah.
And the viewer looks and says, let's watch that show because we never know what's going to happen.
Right, and even if that didn't work, well, let's see what the next one is. We don't lose many viewers, you know, and I also think that the people who've been watching us sort of know what we are. And they've been amazingly loyal.
When you read things, and you read at times that the show has lost it, and you know you've gone through cycles where it's been up and it's been down.
Yeah.
Do you ever agree with the press?
Oh, yeah, I think that you can't be good. The problem in this form is that generally often people are bad before they're good. And part of the joy of it is watching people find their voice, gain confidence and poise. And
although
suddenly,
painful at the time.
Painful as you're watching it, you know, and when I look at the '70s show, or even some of the '80s shows, you know, in syndication, I go, look how young he is. You know, and it's part of it is watching people at that stage in their careers when really they're just so focused on the work. And when something remarkable happens, or when a performer takes off, or somebody is just soaring, you just look at it and you go, you know, why doesn't this happen all the time?
The cast and the producers and the writers have become a family over the years, if perhaps at times a dysfunctional family.
Definitely a dysfunctional family.
And at times there have been tragic losses. How difficult is it for this staff, this team, to pick up the pieces and go on and be funny after an event like that?
Because people leave here and then they come back, it's not unusual for me to look up during the show or during blocking, and someone who's worked here, you know, for years is suddenly here, either because they're in town or they wanted to say hello to everyone. And so people come and go, and because so much of my life is spent right here and so much of everyone else's is spent right here, the idea of people coming and going is sort of built into it. So I didn't get to say goodbye to Phil Hartman, but I got to say goodbye to him here after 8 years of shows, and I know how important he was to me, and I know how deeply I felt about him, and also the impact that he had in our lives. In the case of John Belushi, which was devastating, I think it reverberates forever.
You mentioned John Belushi, and something similar comes to mind with Chris Farley.
Yeah.
These are two guys that made their name here, and then seemed to be swallowed by their success. What lessons do you learn by watching people like that?
I think in the case of Chris Farley, when Chris, who I used to say was the child that John and Danny didn't have, but would have had, he grew up, you know, worshiping John Belushi. He used to go to sleep, he would tape his eyebrow up with Scotch tape when he went to bed because he wanted to be able, couldn't understand how John did that. When problems began to emerge, because as with all people who have a drug problem, talking to them is the least effective way of dealing with it. When it began to bleed over onto the show, it was just swift, and he was out of here, and the thing he loved, which was doing the show, was taken away from him, and he was in Alabama in rehab for 3 months.
And doggone it, people like me. I'm gonna be dead.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Generalissimo Francisco Franco is still dead.
Never mind.
25 years, you'll celebrate with a huge special.
Yeah.
Appropriately enough here on NBC.
Yeah.
Do you stop and think about the impact Saturday Night Live has had on television?
No.
Not at all?
I think anybody who's in comedy who talks seriously for more than 2 or 3 minutes and isn't funny probably shouldn't be listened to. So I think the work speaks for us, and I'm just more worried about the show not being embarrassing than I am anything else.
And Saturday Night Live will celebrate its 25th anniversary with a special primetime program Sunday night. That's right, Sunday night at 9, 8 Central Time here on NBC. It's 7:41, still to come this Friday morning. Sting performs outside on the ice skating rink. It is the last official concert of this year's Today Show Summer Concert Series. It's in our 8:30 half hour. But first, these messages.
Buy Factory Direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Tustin.
Your favorite SNL stars together on one stage, one night live. Scary. The SNL 25th Anniversary Special, live Sunday at 9, 8 Central on NBC.
Celebrity Home Oddities, this weekend on Access Hollywood.
Welcome to NBC All Night. Now a classic episode of Saturday Night Live.
Good evening. Last September, when the 1980 presidential election was only a year and a half away, we began covering the campaign.